I'm Elaine Hammond. I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. Professor Bowe and I were very good friends in high school. I now live in California and am a federal bankruptcy judge. I'm delighted to participate in this course because my job requires me to exercise leadership skills in a different way from what you may think of as a traditional leader. Question: what are the traits of leadership you consider essential to an effective leader? In my world, I believe there are two essential traits to being an effective leader. They are the ability to listen and the ability to explain. I prepare for court by reading documents filed in advance. Listening in court then gives me an opportunity to better understand where the parties disagree and what their key differences are. Next, the ability to explain is necessary because once I decide an issue, I need to help people understand why they won or lost. And I need to be able to provide an explanation to a range of people. The people who appear before me vary widely in their level of education, experience, and things like personal distress. And note that no one has to have done anything wrong to be in a bankruptcy court. For example, I explain a decision very differently if I am talking to an experienced attorney because I can use references to the bankruptcy code or other forms of legalese. But if I'm talking to an individual who is not very well versed in law, for whom English may not be their first language, or they may have some limited education, then I need to avoid legalese and find words that are clear and concise, but not overwhelming to a person that is already in a stressful situation just by being in court. Third question: what is your approach to leadership? What is your leadership style? First, I use the images of a court to provide an immediate impression of authority. These are things you're all pretty familiar with from TV. When I enter the courtroom, everyone stands. I wear a black robe. The judge's bench that I sit at is higher than the tables for attorneys, and there is a large court seal on the wall behind me. I then build on these initial images. When attorneys are arguing their motions, they are always talking to me and I am questioning them. If the attorneys start to engage in a back and forth argument, I let them know that they are still talking to me, not each other. This structure is used to remind people that a courtroom is different from other rooms. But from there, it is up to me to show that I have read the papers that were submitted, that I listened to their arguments, and that I asked to clarify information. From there, I will rule on the motion, meaning I will decide the issue, either at that moment or later in writing. I will explain the law that guides my decision and how it relates to the facts or arguments the attorneys made. This all builds to an objective that parties accept my ruling and comply with it. To be clear, parties may disagree with what I decide and they have the right to appeal it, but I'm talking in the bigger picture. A judge requires the parties to leave the courtroom, whether they have won or lost, believing the process was fair and that they had an opportunity to express their arguments. Because in bankruptcy court and most other courts, there are no police to enforce my decisions. The court system does not have an army. I and the other parties involved are counting on everyone abiding by a judge's decision based on the law. The next question is, what is the challenge to leadership in your field? The biggest challenge I have is that I have to earn my authority every time I go into court because each individual or party deserves it, and this may be the only time they are ever before me. The next question is, what are some of the joys of leadership as a judge? To me, what I enjoy about my job is I get to try and exemplify fairness every day, which honestly is a pretty cool thing. This means giving people a voice, especially if they don't have an attorney. The need to be heard is very important, especially for disadvantaged people, including individuals in financial distress, because they are often not heard. Question 6, what advice do you have for other leaders? My advice to other leaders is to find a way to remind yourself what you are doing and why. It doesn't have to be in depth. A quick reminder is enough. For me, I have 2 post-it notes in front of me every time I am in court. The first says, "You don't have to suffer fools gladly, but you must do so politely." The second is a quote from Dr. Cornel West. It says, "Justice is what love looks like in public." Taken together, these 2 points generally keep me on track. Thank you very much for letting me participate in this program.